super cool. Welcome back to my channel. It is the beginning, or almost the beginning, of a new month, which means we're talking about the meal plan for the month of March. For anyone who's new, I have a family of 6. However, my youngest is 2 months old, so she's not eating any of these meals, but just for that. I do get questions on the age of my children every once in a while, just because people want to know how much I'm making, especially when it comes to budgets and things like that, when we're talking about budget meal plans. So my kids are 5, 7, 3, and 2 months old. So they're probably not eating as much as some of your guys' teenagers are, but definitely depends on the day, especially with my son. So we're gonna hop into the meal plan here. Everything I try to cook scratch, house made. My husband and myself are on this journey to become more in depth in our homestead here, growing a lot of our own stuff, preserving a lot of our own stuff, and then also either growing our own meat, or my husband's like the hunter fisherman of our group, so we have a lot of fish in the freezer, so you'll see that reflected in the meal plan. So let's just go ahead and hop in. The first meal we're gonna be doing is baked tacos. We do this almost every single month. The kids love it. I make my taco stuffing in my crock pot. It's just chicken, some cream cheese, shredded cheese, rice, and then we kind of shred it all up, let everything melt together, and then we shove those in taco shells, whether it be hard shell or soft shell, depending on kind of what mood we're in, and we bake those in the oven for a couple minutes, and it's almost like a taquito or something like that. They're so good. And then we'll put regular taco toppings on top, lettuce, tomatoes, some of our homegrown salsa, sour cream, anything like that, and they are so good. Kids love them. We're also going to do chicken wraps. Heading into March, April, we live in Wisconsin, so that's kind of when you'll get these bursts of nice weather, and then it goes back. Like today, my kids have a snow day. It's their like 3rd snow day in the last week, because we just keep getting pounded with snow. So you'll have days like this where you're just getting flooded with snow, and then you'll have days where it's like 40 or 50 degrees and you want to be outside. So I want to have some meals where we could grill if we wanted to, but if the weather doesn't permit, it's not that big of a deal. We can still make it inside, and chicken wraps is one of those. We're also going to be doing spaghetti and meatballs. I have a pasta maker, so I've been trying to make most of our own pastas, and then we bought all of our ground beef in bulk, so we have a whole freezer full of ground beef to make some really great meatballs, and then we'll use some of our pasta sauce that we canned. And we're gonna do Swedish meatballs. This is one that my husband requested. I do always take my family's input when making these meal plans, and he really wanted Swedish meatballs. We're gonna do a pulled barbecue sandwich. I haven't done these in a minute, but they're so easy. I'll just put the chicken breasts in my Instant Pot, shred it, top it with some barbecue sauce, and we'll put that on some house-made buns, and they're so good. We'll do that with corn. We like to pair them with some of our homemade pickles and things like that. Maybe if I'm feeling really jazzy, we'll make some french fries or something, but so good and so simple. My sister-in-law, or one of my sister-in-laws, is due to have a baby in March, and I told her that I would bring her over some freezer meals. So I have some meals in here that I'm going to be double cooking, one for my family and one for her family, and one of those is a meatball pot roast. So I'm actually just gonna buy the meatballs for this meal. I'm not gonna make them, just to make my life this much easier. But I found that meal on Pinterest and it looked really, really good. Just throw your meatballs in your crock pot with your pot roast fixings, potatoes, celery, carrots, kind of let that go. So it'll be a really good meal that I can just throw in a Ziploc bag for her, and she can make a dump and go meal for that for when she has her baby. Another meal I'm doing double batch cooking is a tater tot casserole. Those meals are so good. When I asked her what she wanted, she said that pasta dishes always go over really well, especially with her toddler. So we're gonna do that because it has pasta and it has tater tots, and what little kid does not like pasta and tater tots? So I'm gonna make that, one for her and one for us. A couple of weeks ago, I'm pretty sure I have this in a video. It might be in a short, but I made a venison pot pie, and my husband loved it, my kids loved it. We're gonna do that again, and we did one last month too, and it was so good. I like to make an apple crisp at the same time, so then we'll have apple crisp and the venison pot pie, and it's so good. It's awesome. So we're gonna do that again. It's one of our favorite meals right now. Something I haven't made since the summertime is salmon patties. So I'm going to buy a fillet of salmon just to give us a little bit of a break from the fish that my husband's been catching and putting in the freezer. We have a lot of trout right now. We have a lot of whitefish right now, and just to kind of like mix it up a little bit. So we're gonna do some salmon. he is planning on hitting the salmon run in the spring and then in the fall, and hopefully we'll be catching our own salmon too, but for right now that's what we're gonna have to do, and we're gonna do some salmon patties. I'm gonna make a chicken, broccoli, and rice bake. This is also another meal I'm gonna double cook. So easy, so simple, so delicious, so we're gonna do that. Now, every Friday I am going to be bringing back Pizza Fridays. My kids love Pizza Fridays, and I love Pizza Fridays because on Fridays I tend to block my entire day to like deep clean my house. With 4 kids, you can imagine things can get out of hand very quickly. So Fridays are my day that I block to catch up on laundry if I fell behind, to scrub bathrooms, to like clean my kitchen, look through my fridge. Anything that needs to happen in the house or like out in the yard during the summertime, whether that be like cut the grass or weed whack, me and my husband will just tag team. I get as much done as I can during the day, and then he'll come in home from work and will help me kind of finish off whatever I wasn't able to get done during the day, especially with yard work in the summer. But that way we're heading into the weekend with all of the chores met, and then we can just focus 100% on like family time and hanging out with the kids and having a lot of fun. And then Sunday, before the kids go back to school and he heads back to work, it takes like 15 or 20 minutes to do a whole house pickup, because there's no, like, the base level of the house is clean. It's just like a general, all right, everybody put your toys away. So Fridays are awesome for pizzas because all I have to do is make the pizza dough in the morning or in the afternoon or whatever, whenever I remember to make the pizza dough. And it's simple, it's easy cleanup, which I know sounds ridiculous because the kids will get involved and there's pizza sauce and cheese and toppings everywhere, but it's really fun. It's something that the kids look forward to, especially when they're getting on the bus in the morning. They're like, it's pizza tonight. So we're bringing that back. So we're gonna do pizza 5 times this month because there's 5 Fridays in March. We are gonna do a fish fry. We are gonna use some of that white fish my husband's been catching. It's one of his favorite things to do right now is like probably once or twice a month he'll do some sort of dinner for us, and he's been getting in the kitchen a little bit more, especially as he's fishing more and he wants to get in the kitchen and like learn how to cook the things he's catching. So we're gonna do a fish fry, and usually we pair that with like baked beans, and usually I'll make some bread, and then we'll do French fries or mac and cheese or something, and it's one of the kids' favorite times when he gets in the kitchen and cooks. I want to make some stuffed chicken. I did this a couple, I want to say like 6 months ago probably is when I first did it, and it's really, really good. We just take the chicken breast and I kind of cut a little hole in there, and we stuff it with like cream cheese and broccoli, and sometimes we'll do bacon or something, and then as you bake the chicken, it's just so good. So we're gonna do that again this month. I'm also gonna make a sheet pan kielbasa dinner. I like to throw in some easier meals, especially trying to cook from scratch a lot more and rely a lot less on like box food and convenience foods, whatever that may be, wherever your starting point is. It's really important, I found, to find meals that are super simple but they're still from scratch. So having a sheet pan dinner where all I'm doing is like dumping out some vegetables and cutting up some potatoes and some onions and a kielbasa and just throwing in the oven. And then we like to eat our sheet pan dinners over rice, so we'll have all the vegetables and potatoes and then our protein, and then I'll put rice in the Instant Pot. It makes it go further, and it just helps things, I think, go over a little bit better. But it's simple and it's still from scratch, which is really important to me. All right, some of my kids have moved out here to play, so you're probably gonna hear them. You're definitely gonna hear them, but that's just the reality with everybody home today. We are also gonna do chalupas. I said in February's meal plan that I wanted to make chalupas, to force myself to learn how to make chalupa shells, and guess what? I didn't do it. It's just a meal that got skipped over. It happens every once in a while, so I'm putting that on the meal plan again, and hopefully I actually force myself to do that this month. One of my kids wanted burgers, so we're gonna do that this month, and that's perfect because then while I'm making some burger patties, I can make some extra burger patties for my sister-in-law and get another meal over to her that's gonna be flat and simple in a Ziploc bag and won't take up a lot of room in her freezer either. We're gonna do stuffed shells because I was looking on my food storage downstairs, and I have a box of big jumbo shells still down there, and I know they've been down there for a little bit, so we're gonna do stuffed shells, get those off the shelf, and that is hands down one of my kids' favorite meals. I'll probably try to bring you guys along to show you guys how I make those. I think I'm gonna do a video this month on like just some of my family's favorite meals, just bring you guys along with me while we cook some of them, my kids allowing, of course, and we'll see how that goes, but it's a really easy and a really great meal. We're also gonna do pasties. Back in January, we got pasties from a local pasty shop, and now all of us are obsessed with them all over again. We live really close to the Wisconsin-Michigan border, so it's really easy for us to just drive into Michigan and get really authentic, delicious pasties. And there's that. I'm also growing rutabaga in my garden this year to put in pasties, so I really want to get good at making those. So we're gonna do that this month. We're gonna do a regular baked fish. I did this last month with one of my husband's lake trout, and oh my gosh, it was so good. My kids really liked it too. It was really great. So we're gonna do another baked fish. And then I'll definitely do some sort of potato with it, and then just some roasted veggies, probably another really simple dinner, but that's really tasty. We're gonna do nachos. This is one of the meals that my kids requested. We don't do it all the time, but I'm just gonna get a can of nacho cheese with my Walmart order, and we'll have nachos. My husband asked if I could make a venison mac and cheese bake, so I'm gonna give that a go. I'm looking for some recipes, but we'll see what happens. One of my daughters requested grilled cheese and tomato soup. We haven't had this in a while because Aldi has not had the tomato soup that we really love. This year, heading into the garden, I plan on hopefully making my own tomato soup and getting a ton of that canned up because we eat it all the time. But I'm hoping Aldi has tomato soup, because that tomato soup that Aldi has is by far the best tomato soup I've ever had in my life, and we miss it. We really miss it. So I'm hoping that they have it this month. If they don't have it when I go in grocery shopping for my big once a month hauls, I'm probably gonna go back until they have it, because I want to buy a whole case of it to just get it on the shelf. We're also gonna do venison tips and gravy, just another really simple meal. I'll probably cook the venison tips in the cast iron pan and then make a pan gravy out of it. We'll eat it either over noodles, rice, or mashed potatoes. I'll just ask everybody that day that I'm making it what everybody is feeling, and we'll decide on what starch we're eating it over, but it's so good. I'll definitely make some fresh bread that day too, and then we'll probably do like some green beans that we have from the garden or something, and it's so good, so good. The girls were helping me finish off my meal plan, and we were scrolling Pinterest together, and my oldest daughter saw this like creamy broccoli pasta that she said looked really good, and she wanted me to try to make, so we're gonna do that. We're also gonna do breakfast for dinner. Our whole pig should be coming in next month at some point, and there's tons of great sausages and tons of bacon, so we decided that when we get the pig, we're gonna do a breakfast for dinner situation and just try out some cuts of meat off of that pig and do some pancakes with it, some eggs from the chickens, and I'm really looking forward to that because it's gonna be really good. Another meal my daughter wanted me to make was this chicken broccoli tortellini thing. It looked very similar to the broccoli creamy pasta dish that she also picked out. But if she wants to eat those and they taste very similar, it's totally fine. I'm just gonna scatter them. So we'll have one like the first week and one the third week, and it won't seem like we're eating the same meal twice if it's super similar ingredients wise. So that's how we're gonna do that. But that is all 30 meals, or all 30 dinners. However, my kids also have spring break in March, so they're gonna be off for an entire week in March as well. And I did not account for all the snow days we were going to have in February, and my kids blew through a ton more food than typical because they were home. That's just to be expected. Same thing happens in the summer, but I can plan for summer break. I did not plan for snow days. So we ate through like all of the convenience things that we had on the shelf and a lot of extra like lunch items that I keep stored up. So I need to make sure that heading into March, I have enough of those things for the week that they're gonna be off. So I asked them for lunches that they wanted. They wanna do roll-ups. They want me to have ramen. So we're definitely gonna have those on the shelf. My oldest daughter is obsessed with SpaghettiOs, and that's one of those things that I just keep on the shelf for when I need extra. It's not something that they eat all of the time. So I'm gonna get some more SpaghettiOs to keep on the shelf, and if that's what she wants to eat on her week off for lunch once or twice, then so be it. We're gonna make calzones with our pizza dough, and that's gonna be really fun. The kids love to make their own calzones too. They call them pizza pockets, which I mean, that's pretty much what they are. We're also going to do chicken nuggets and french fries because it's what my other daughter requested. So if they're gonna be home for spring break, I wanted them each to be able to pick like a fun lunch to have, something to look forward to, just something fun and different while they're home. So she picked chicken nuggets and french fries, so I have to make sure that I pick those up. And then they want to do a homemade Lunchable, which we do all the time in the summer. We'll do crackers and pepperoni, like Canadian bacon, and then we'll do carrots, apples, grapes, kind of like a charcuterie board, but we just call them homemade Lunchables, and the kids really love them. So that is everything I have planned headed into March. Thank you guys so much for taking a little time out of your day to hang out with me. Let me know down below what you guys are planning for your meal plan for the month of March, and I will catch you guys in another video. Bye.